Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Welcome to today's video. Today's video is going to be a foundation review and wear test, and I am going to be reviewing this foundation here. This is the newest foundation from Maybelline. It is the Superstay Lumi Matte Foundation. I'm very excited to try this out. So the way that I like to do my foundation reviews, if you're new around here, is I like to apply them with you all on camera while I talk about the details, nice up close and personal. Then I will go about my day, check in with you all halfway through my day outside in natural daylight so you can see the foundation there. Insert in some swatches comparing this foundation to some others in my collection. Then coming back at the very end of my day, 8 to 10 hours-ish, and giving you my overall first impression thoughts. So if that sounds good to you, if you like foundation reviews, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't yet. I would love it if you stuck around. But with all that, let me pull you in closer and we're going to get started. All right, I have you nice up close and personal. So here is what the foundation looks like. I picked up the shade 115. Now, for some reason, Europe versus the US has different shade numbers. I don't know why. Typically, I wear shade 120 in the US, in case you're wondering, but I will be doing some swatch comparisons later against 120 so you can see where this one fits and see if 120 would maybe be your normal shade. But this seemed like it was going to be the best match for me based off of online. I did purchase this on Amazon. This comes in 24 shades. It retails for $14.99 and it has your standard 1 fluid ounce. I don't think that's that bad for Maybelline. I have seen a hike in prices with Maybelline foundations. They used to go for like $8, and now I would say I think the Fit Me goes for maybe $10. So I don't think that's too far off from this. I do really like the packaging. I think that it's sleek and updated. So I'm going to give this a shot. I'm going to work while I talk like normal. Now, if you're new to any of my foundation reviews, for the first time I wear it, only go in with my skincare, sunscreen, no primer. I just want to get a good baseline of what this foundation can do. I have normal leaning dry skin, and I do prefer a natural matte finish. So this seemed right up my alley. I want to know how luminous it means when it says it's a luminous matte finish. We'll have to wait and see because those terms kind of can contradict themselves a little bit. But this is supposed to be buildable coverage, which I'm assuming means buildable full coverage. It doesn't necessarily specify. And it says to go in with either a brush or a sponge or your fingertips. So I'm going to do a brush on one side, a sponge on the other. Here's what the shade's looking like right now. It is fairly liquidy. You can see it dripping down my hand here. So let's do the brush side first, I think. I'm just going to pick a little bit up. I tend to be a little bit biased towards sponges, but I'm going to give it a shot anyways. I was a little bit nervous with the shade only because I am at my palest, and I would rather lighten the foundation with a mixer than darken it with a mixer. So I figured it was better to go with this shade than any lighter, and it would match me better in the summer. I don't think it's too bad. I don't know why the shades are different. It makes no sense to me. That's the way they want to do it, so that's what they're going to do. A little went a long way. This is super spreadable. I'll say that is the first thing I noticed. And brush side looks pretty good. It does say it's meant for all skin types, even sensitive skin. And I'm liking how this looks. Maybelline foundations are my all-time favorite. If you've been around my channel at all, I've talked about a lot of Maybelline foundations. I've gone through multiple of the Fit Me Matte and Poreless. And I even did a whole roundup video on as many Maybelline foundations I could get my hands on. I think it was like 14 foundations. And there's really been one that I haven't loved, and that was the original Superstay. So I had to try this one for science. I'm going to now go in with my sponge on the other side. See what that gives me. Might need to pump out a little bit more because the brush did soak it up. Now, as per usual, the sponge is just giving a little bit lighter coverage, and that is why I tend to prefer a sponge. I would rather it be a little bit lighter than super full coverage. But I think just to like even it out, I'm gonna go in with another pump on the back of my hand here, and then I'm gonna take my brush, used to saying sponge, and just kind of even it out, and we'll also kind of just test the buildable qualities of this. I'm really liking this though. I would say it is a luminous matte finish. My definition of a luminous matte, which means it's not a super flat matte, but it's not shiny. There's no brush strokes when I use my brush. It's looking really nice. I would say my biggest skin concern is just enlarged pores on the tops of my cheeks. Some redness on my nose is pretty normal, but I don't really suffer from acne too much anymore. I'll get like the occasional here or there, but nothing that I would say is like a problem for me. And here's what it's looking like so far. 2 layers built up. I would say actually it is buildable. It built up really nicely. I don't get that too often. I don't normally build up my foundations, but I would say that it did really build nicely, and it doesn't look too cakey or still too full coverage or mask-like. I associate full coverage with very mask-like. This is giving coverage, but it's looking very natural. I'm actually very impressed right now. I shouldn't be because Maybelline foundations always do it for me, but here is what it's looking like. The shade match is definitely a little bit dark. It's a little bit peachy, I think. Not the best. I can make it work, but in summertime, I know this will fit me really well. So I'm fine with the shade that I chose. I think it was probably the best option for me. And I'm so far pleasantly surprised. I am now going to go off camera, finish up the rest of my makeup, and then be back to just give you my first impression thoughts once this kind of settles in. Rest of my makeup is on, and we're looking a little bit more full coverage than maybe I'm used to on a day-to-day basis, but I'm not fully hating it. For being a full coverage look, I think it actually looks pretty nice. It looks pretty natural. It's not giving that full coverage mask-like effect that I'm used to with some full coverage foundations. I think it looks pretty good. I'm happy with it so far. Now, everything that I'm wearing is always listed down in the description box below, but what's pertinent to my base is I did decide to powder today only to really like set it, and then I did mist my face with a Max Fix Plus. So I have powder on top. I have a setting spray on top. We'll just see how this is going to work and how it's going to affect the foundation. Now, they do claim for very long wear time of 30 hours. Don't wear your makeup for 30 hours. We all know this already, but it is supposed to be long wearing, transfer proof, waterproof, sweat proof, all those things. So that hopefully means that by the end of the night, this has kind of worn down naturally. I am hoping to get maybe a smidge more glow. Like I'm hoping my natural oils kind of meld all of this together and give like a really pretty, more natural finish than maybe what's going on right now. But overall, I'm happy. I think the next time the only thing I want to change is trying it with a primer for sure, and probably just using my sponge to get the lightest coverage possible. I did, if you remember, go in with 2 layers, so that's why this is looking a little bit extra full coveragey. After that though, it's around noon, so I'm gonna get started with my day. Of course, I always just have cleaning to do. I kind of save my foundation reviews for my cleaning days because then I know I'm inside, I'm kind of moving around, I'm not doing too much, but I'm doing something. And then it gives me a chance to maybe not film too much, really focus in on the foundation. So I'm going to do all of that, and I will catch up with you all in about 4 hours outside in natural daylight. Okay, another cold, windy day here in the southwest of France, but this is what the foundation's looking like. I am very happy so far with the midday check-in. I would say, if anything, it looks a little heavy, like around my mouth. Try to move in. But, you know, that's just my skin looking like skin. I don't think that it's really an indication on the foundation. Maybe just going a little bit lighter, not building up the 2 layers would help. So I'm not fully against it. I don't look shiny at all. I still look like a natural finish. I wouldn't say it looks overly matte. I don't think I look overly dewy. It's not letting my oils come through and break apart the foundation. So right now for the check-in, I'm very pleased. This does seem to be pretty long lasting. I'm hoping the wind is picking up, so I'm hoping that it's not picking up on the camera too much. So I'm going to cut this a little bit short. But yeah, overall, like here are my wrinkles. It's not settling into fine lines. I really don't have any complaints other than it's just a little bit more full coverage than I personally would want on a day-to-day basis. But if I wanted something a little bit more full coverage that looked still really natural, right now this is doing a great job for an amazing price. So I will keep y'all updated. I am going to insert in some swatches about now, and I'll see you in another 4 to 5 hours. It is the end of the night, and it's actually been it's been about 10 hours since I first applied this foundation. I'm going to keep this super brief. I think this is one of the best foundations that I've tried in a really, really long time. It is doing everything that I want it to do. For some reason, whatever's in this foundation, my skin looks better than it did when I first applied it. My natural oils have come through. It hasn't worn away at all. It hasn't transferred at all. When I take my glasses off, I don't see, it doesn't look like it's moved at all. So I would absolutely agree that this is transfer proof, probably sweat proof, waterproof. I did not technically test those claims, but I'm very impressed with how much after 10 hours my makeup looks better than when I applied it. There are not very many foundations where I find that. You can still see a little bit of my cheek products at the end of the day. Like, overall, I cannot tell you how impressed I am. I think that it just looks better than when I first applied it. It looks more natural. It gives a little bit of glow, but not too much. I did not do any touch-ups, 0 touch-ups today. And it is rare for a foundation to not be like really, really shiny, especially like in my T-zone, right here in the middle of my eyebrows, on my chin here. It is not shiny at all. I'm speechless by how much I love this foundation. I really was 50-50 on whether I would like it or not, because the Superstay line in the past, like I said, was my least favorite foundation out of all the Maybelline foundations that I've tried. But this is definitely my number one. My number one was the Fit Me Matte and Poreless. I've gone through 2 full bottles of that foundation. This has the longevity that the Matte and Poreless does not have. The Matte and Poreless, throughout the day, it'll wear down pretty naturally, but it'll wear down. Your skin's going to come through by the end of the day, and you're just going to look like you've worn your makeup for a full day. I don't get that with this. I would really actually like to put this up against each other. Maybe I will try that, doing 1/2 of my face with the Superstay and 1/2 with the Matte and Poreless, just to really see and compare them and get like a better idea, not just go off of my memory, because I am just absolutely in love. And for $15, like, you cannot beat that price. I'm very happy with this purchase. I'm glad that I did pick it up. I was a little bit hesitant because I am a little bit backed up on foundation reviews, and all I needed was another one to add to that pile. But this really, really surprised me. I'm excited to see what other people think of this foundation. The next time I wear it, other than comparing it with the Fit Me, is I do want to try it with my sponge and try it with a primer, see how those two things work, because I would like maybe a little bit less coverage, but I'm okay with the coverage as of now. It was just when I first applied it, it was more full coverage than maybe I was wanting, but right now, like, I mean, my skin looks amazing. I think it looks really, really great. I don't know how it's translating on camera. Hopefully it's pretty accurate, but to not have foundation collecting here underneath my glasses, that does not happen a lot. Even with foundations that claim to be budge proof, it's having like a weight sitting on there for a long time. And I have like zero indentations. It doesn't happen. Even compared to my check-in where I said like I was kind of getting like that orange peel right here, that's completely gone. Doesn't look like that anymore. It just looks one with my skin. I love this. I have nothing bad to say about this foundation at all. So I would love to know if you plan on picking up this foundation, if you're interested in it, if you just don't like natural finishes. You know, if you are someone with really, really dry skin and you prefer a glowy finish, this might not be the foundation for you, but normal skin, oily skin, I can see really liking this. So if you've tried this, let me know your thoughts down below and what skin type you have to let everyone else know. If not though, are you interested? Do you plan on picking this up? I would not sleep on this. And I don't say that often, like run, don't walk. A lot of influencers or content creators are always saying that, making it sound so urgent. But I think this is one that a lot of people are really, really going to like. Super happy with this purchase. Anyways, that is the end of my foundation review and wear test for the day. I hope it was helpful. I hope these swatches were helpful. I will see you all in my next video. Bye, everyone.